Hey guys, welcome back. So today I wanted to come on here to show you guys how I did this inspo pic I found off of Instagram. Right now I'm going in with a fine sanding band and I'm removing the shine and oils off of the natural nail plate so we won't get any lifting. When doing this step, you want to make sure you're between a 3 and 6. You don't want to apply too much pressure when working with your client's natural nails. Okay, so now I'm going to dust off the excess dust and apply my tips. Normally, I apply the glue onto the tips, but for some reason, I've been applying it onto the nail bed instead. That's just something that I've been doing lately. And then I'm going to apply my tips sidewall to sidewall. I did have to clip the size of these tips. I did run out of 3s, so that's just something that I had to do so that they could fit a lot better. And then I'm going to add glue to some areas that have air bubbles so we won't get any lifting as well. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with my nail clipper, and I also added some magnets on there just to ensure each nail is even. Alright, so now I'm going to go in with my 80/80 grit hand file, and I'm pretty much just going to reshape the tips to my liking. Now I'm going to go in with that same fine sanding band, and I'm going to blend the tips in with my client's natural nail bed. This is just so we can have a smooth application when it comes to applying our acrylic. Alright, so now I'm going to dust off the excess dust before I apply my primer. Alright, so now I'm going to place my first bead just above where I placed my tips, and I'm going to pat it into place and drag it at the same time. If you feel like your acrylic is too runny, you can wait a while and wait for it to stiffen up before dragging it down. Also, when applying your acrylic, you want to clean off the sides just so you can still have your shape intact. And also, when applying acrylic, you do want to tilt it to the side just to make sure everything is as even as possible. It's better to catch it now than later when your acrylic is already dried, so you won't have too much drilling to do. And now I'm going to place my second bead just above that first bead, and I'm going to gently pat it into place and then drag the tip of that bead downwards. All right, so now I'm going to tilt my client's fingers to the side just to see if there's any areas that could use some more acrylic, and I'll place just a small bead there and brush it upwards instead of dragging it downwards, so I'm not taking too much of that acrylic off. Now I'm going to go in with my cuticle bead, and I'm going to place that just above where I placed that second bead. I'm going to gently pat it into place, and then I'm going to drag the tip of that bead downwards to blend in with the rest of the nail. And then I'm going to take the tip of my brush to clean around the cuticle to ensure that I won't get any lifting. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with my 80/80 grit hand file, and I'm going to go in and reshape the nail into a tapered square. When doing this, I like to keep my hand file straight, but in between, I'll go in and angle my hand file underneath so I can remove any acrylic that might have gotten under when I was applying acrylic. So now I'm going to go in with a fine sanding band and I'm going to smooth out the nail. I normally go in with a fine carbide bit, but my application was already smooth and I didn't have too much to do. So I just went in just to smooth it out a little more. And then I went in with my fine carbide bit to seal around the cuticle area. Alright, so now I'm going to go in with my buffer to smooth out the nail, and especially with me going in with my sanding band, I have to do this process because it's not going to be a smooth application when I go in to apply my gel polish. And I actually don't have a footage of me sealing around the cuticle, but I pretty much went in with my fine carbide bit and removed any excess acrylic that might have gotten onto the skin. Okay, now I'm going to go in with that same 80/80 grit hand file, and I'm going to go in and reshape the nail to that sharp square that I'm looking for. Now for the nail art, there's not too much explaining to do, but I do apply 2 coats of gel polish depending on how pigmented the color is. But for this one, I did end up going for 2, and I cure in between each coat for 60 seconds. Once I'm satisfied with how I like my design, I'll go in with my cleanup brush that's dipped in acetone, and I'll clean around the cuticles to remove any excess gel that might have gotten onto the skin, because once it's cured, it's not coming off, it's there to stay. And then I'll go in and wipe the sides of the nail off to ensure that my shape is still there. Alright, now I'm going to go in with some no wipe gel top coat, and I'm going to apply a thin layer on the nail, and a little goes a long way. You don't want to apply too much, but if you do, there's going to be some gel top coat rolling over to the sides. So before curing it under the lamp for 60 seconds, you want to wipe the sides off. Alright, so for this nail, I went in and added a magnet, but before doing that, I had to buff out the nail with my sanding band, and then I added the magnet and cured it for 60 seconds. I did this just so it could stick a lot better. So for the sweater print, I'm going to create the design, and I'm going to use that same white that I used for the French. And before curing it under the lamp, you want to add clear acrylic on top of it. So I wasn't able to show you guys how I placed my crystals, but I pretty much just glued it on there. And now I'm going to go around that stone placement with no wipe gel top coat. Alright, so now I'm going to attach my pom-poms and add some cuticle oil, and that is it for this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.